What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Quick shout out to everybody that was listening to the last podcast. Got some good feedback from the last one. Doing this one solo right now. Kayla's in the middle of a hair transition moment, so she'll be back when her hair is done up and ready to rock. But yeah, man, here we are. This is episode, I think, 36, something like that. Whole bunch is going on. Just been really busy, man. Work like usual. Went to an exotic bird expo today and didn't see any African grays, so I don't know how exactly exotic it was. There was a bunch of macaws and stuff. It's pretty cool, but like just the people that sell those birds, they I don't think they take care of them that good, honestly, because like you see a lot of them and they're like, I don't know, they're like real shitty looking. You know what I mean? They're like feathers are like all fucked up and they're like pulling their feathers out and they're like bald spots and stuff everywhere. So I don't know. It was kind of a weird thing to go, but you know, it's cool to go check stuff out, and it was a fun little outing. But yeah, going back from the last episode, I talked a little bit, I think, about the JFK files and all that stuff, but and now they're fully released, so I'll get into that in a little bit. But I also was curious on Instagram, just kind of what like people are, have opinions on and stuff like that. And I had a buddy of mine send something to me that was talking about the veterans and the VA, and he said the veterans at the VA losing their jobs. Not because as a veteran I'm against them losing their jobs, because the VA is severely in need of an overhaul on how they operate when the benefits of a soldier receives is at the mercy of those who run and poorly the VA and the diagnosis of those who have never served. I've witnessed this from my grandfather's perspective, who served during Vietnam, and those of my brothers today who have served. So I think the whole VA overhaul is well overdue. I don't know exactly the percentage of the people working there that are veterans. I'm assuming there's a lot, and it's crazy because there's people that have actually had cases that I'm familiar with that have taken like 10 plus years to get handled and situated like that. And when people are serving the country and they're getting delays on, benefits or medical assistance or, medications or whatever it is, that's obviously not a good thing. Cause I back the armed forces 100% all the way through every branch, every facet of every job and stuff is important, whether you're a fucking cook all the way up to the dudes that are launching missiles and doing all that heavy kind of shit. But yeah, I think the VA needs a restructuring, and it just can't be shitty. Like people need to be taken care of. People can't wait for years and years for responses and stuff. It's just like the medical setup here in the States. At least we're not in Canada. At least they're not Canadian. I was just watching a video prior to starting this, that a girl was at a clinic or whatever up in Canada, and she has a brain tumor, and I guess she has like spinal tumors as well. So she got a notice in the mail or whatever that was saying her MRI is scheduled 13 months. 13 months from now is when she'll get her MRI done to see if she has a brain tumor. So, it could be worse. It could be some Canadian shit like that where you don't even get the scan for over a year. And by then, who knows if you're going to be around. That's what's fucked up about, the people that want all this free stuff. They don't take into account the effect that it has on certain individuals or, people that are in dire need of medical assistance or operations or just different stuff like that. So, yeah, just be lucky we're not in Canada. But the VA shit really does need to be restructured. The people aren't pulling their weight, need to get the fuck out of the way, and they'll find some people that will replace them. Because I'm sure there's people that are out there that need jobs, um, particularly veterans that are looking for work or what have you. So yeah, I'm totally cool with the VA getting torn apart and letting all the losers go, so that way our men and women can get the proper care that they need. Um, there's no two ways about it. That's what's important, and that's what's got to get taken care of. So hopefully this administration will do something about that, and I'm sure they will. I don't have any doubt that something will happen with all that stuff. Um, but man, I've been trying. I've been trying my hardest to keep up with all of the shit that's been going on week to week to day, and it's always something new. It's like super hard to just like get all this like stuff and just combine it into topics and talking points and stuff like that. So that's why I think these episodes are starting to kind of just get spaced out a little bit, because I'm trying to like pick and choose like the shit that you can really like tear apart, or you can dive into and really have a conversation about too. And also, I don't really like doing podcasts solo anymore. I just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird for me now. I was doing it a lot in the beginning, obviously, um, but I think it's easier to talk with somebody rather than just kind of sit and spew some just one-sided, there's no opinion, opposing opinion. And not like there is really when I do these podcasts anyways, but um, yeah, I think it's more of a fun kind of thing to do with somebody in the other seat. um, but yeah, man, let's see, what do I got here? I got a bunch of stuff. And oh, RIP George Foreman, dude. Okay, yeah, George Foreman, I think it was last night that he passed away. They said that it was just like a kind of a peaceful thing, so I'm assuming it's like natural causes. But yeah, that's a bummer. Two-time champ, R.I.P. George Foreman. Um, we also watched Nosferatu last night, and wasn't impressed. I thought it was going to be a lot more of an interesting movie. And I wouldn't say let down, because it was an interesting take, and I think I'm gonna have to go back and watch the original and kind of just compare the two. But it wasn't anything like I thought um, it was gonna be. I was kind of just like, what is this kind of thing? Like the original Nosferatu had like the Orlok that had like he had like the noticeably crazy teeth and stuff like that. So I was thinking like it was going to be something like that. And they have, what's his face from, that did all the fucking, It movies and stuff like that. Let me see who it is. If I can even fucking type here. Jesus Christ. Bill Skarsgård, I believe, is who the dude is that plays Orlok. And let me actually see if that's right. Okay, so that's this is the old one. Yeah, Bill Skarsgård is Count Orlok. Um, and I don't know, man. He just kind of looked like funky, dude. He didn't look anything like I thought he was going to. You have the kind of bald dude with pointy ears and stuff like that in the OG movie, and then you have like Bill Skarsgård's character that looks like just fucking, I don't know, man. He looks like just a some type of fucking mountain dwelling weirdo. And it's just, I don't know. It just was very odd, and it's not what I expected. But dude, I mean, he has. I can't believe this shit. He's got a fucking crazy ass mustache. Like and I don't know, it just wasn't what I was expecting. So I was let down with that. And but I will say, Count Orlok was the OG, like Mr. Take Yo Bitch, because the whole movie was just centered around him wanting to get the chick from the dude and like take her to be his, and like it was just, I don't know, man. It was kind of a, I want to say it was a waste of time, and I won't watch it again. That's just what I'm gonna leave it at. That's how it goes. So if you're trying to watch that movie, I would suggest don't, because it's not really that cool. And I was let down by it. That's what it is. So what else we got? We watched freaking stupid Nosferatu. Uh, Man, like I said, it's just been a lot of stuff. Um, Glenn Jacobs, if you're not familiar with him, he was known as the character Kane back when WWF was around before it went to WWE, and he's a governor now. Oh man, where is he governor of though? Let me look this up. Glenn Jacobs. He's mayor of Knox County in Tennessee. That's what it is. He's not a senator or anything. He's mayor of Knox County. And recently, good old Tim Walz, if you remember who that loser was, he was Kamala Harris's running mate. Fucking dork. He was insinuating that he could kick any Trump supporter's ass. And what he was trying to say was in a debate setting, but it just came out like, oh yeah, I could kick these fools' asses no matter who it is. And yeah, so Glenn Jacobs was like, hey, let's do a celebrity wrestling match, and I'll put up $10,000. We'll split it, 50-50 to each one of our respective charities or whatever. And I can't wait to see if they actually do it, because Glenn Jacobs is 7 feet tall. The dude's like 300 pounds, and Tim Walz just like, he's a fucking nerdy old dorky fat dude who puts tampons in boys' bathrooms. So I want to see if that actually goes down. I doubt it will, because Tim Walz is a big pussy. So I'm not expecting that to actually happen, but it would be cool to watch, fucking Kane choke slam Walz through like a table or something like that. That'd be pretty sweet. I would pay to watch it. So if they do that, I'll be definitely watching that. Let's see here, man. Like I said, I have a bunch of stuff. Oh, this is one of the crazy ones. As of February 28th in the state, or maybe just in the county, I'm not sure if it's a state or a county thing. I didn't really get into it. I was at a Vaughn's, and I'm checking out, and I saw this sign on the register next to like the little card reader, and it said, as of 2/28/25, you have to be 18 years old to buy an energy drink. Let's think about that now. An energy drink. 18 years old. Okay, so this actually happened to me when I was around 19 or 20 years old at a liquor store not too far from where the Vaughn's is at. And I thought the guy was just fucking around. He was like, "Hey, how old are you?" And I was like, "It's a Monster," or whatever I was buying. It was an energy drink. And the guy's like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, I told him however old I was, and he's like, "Can I see your ID?" And so I gave him my ID, and I thought he was just fucking with me. And yeah, it's a real thing now. So if you're not 18, it looks like you're gonna have to fucking drink Capri Suns or some shit, or some high C juice boxes or something, dude, because only the adults can get their energy drinks now, which is ridiculous. But you have these kids that sit and play Fortnite or whatever they do and drink 15 monsters in a row, and then their heart blows up. So I mean, it's led to this, I guess. Now you have to be 18 to buy a fucking energy drink anywhere. So congrats, kids, you've done it again. Fucking ruined everything for everybody else. Another thing in California, though, for those out there that listen that have like classic cars like I do, Leno's law is something that's going to try to make cars 35 years or older exempt from smog checks, which would be good because, those fucking run people's pockets pretty deep if they're not able to pass and this and that. So that'd be a good one. I'm not sure when the vote is going to be like taking place on that or anything like that, or if it's got to do some sort of legislative moves to hoops to jump through. But it would exempt them from smog checks as long, though, as this is the thing, though, as long as they're insured as collector's vehicles. So you can't just like run up in there and be like, oh, yeah, man, I got this car. It's a freaking Bronco. And, I just have it at freaking Geico Insurance. It's not going to work. You have to have it insured as a collector vehicle. So I'll probably have to redo my insurance. I mean, mine's exempt anyways because it's a 66, and my other one also being a 68. Those are exempt automatically, so I don't really have to worry about that. But for anybody out there that's curious, if they have like the 80s like Camaros and stuff like that, or something along those lines, or if you're into rocking the old Blazers or whatever it is, 35 years or more, it's on the table right now to be put into law, which would be cool. Jay Leno actually had a hand in that. That's why they're calling it Leno's Law. He's like the ultimate like collector of vehicles that there has ever been. Dude's like super impressive with his car collection and stuff. So yeah, if you're looking to get an older car now and you don't want to have to smog it, now's your chance. So be looking out for when that takes effect, and try to get some more info on that. As far as everything else, man, I got a few other things on here. Okay, so we were watching My 600-Pound Life the other night, and you see these people out there. There was one lady that couldn't fit into her bathroom to like bathe or do her business, and I'm thinking like, where does TLC find, like how do they come up with these shows like My 600-Pound Life? And they're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna go and like put our feelers out there for somebody that's like 700 pounds, 600 something pounds. Like these people go onto there and they get tracked for a year to see if they can qualify for like weight loss surgery and stuff like that. There's been people that have like died from it and everything like that. And I was kind of like, how do they like find these people? How do they even come up with these shows? Like they have the Jay and Pamela or whatever it's called show now, where there's like two, like, I don't know what their condition is. They're dwarfs, but they're like micro, like tiny little guys. Well, neither one of them are guys. The J person is like trans or something like that. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Like their idea table has got to be like just crazy, like beyond crazy. Like you get to thinking like, what is their sit down like at TLC? Like, hey, we got to come up with some crazy shit this month because like our ratings are down. Like, go find a fucking one-leg lesbian that likes, carnival rides or something like that, and we'll track her for a year, and we'll send her to every carnival in, the United States, and then we'll fly her over to the UK and see if she can be a circus freak or something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know where they come up with the ideas for these shows at, and it's like, it's kind of weird because you think that people are thinking of these ideas that aren't normal, for most people. And I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's gross, kind of, because it's like it's almost like they're preying on, these people that are like fucked up. And I don't know. Some of them, I mean, live normal lives, I guess. But like the 600-pound ones, like when you're watching the show, you're just put off by like watching it. Like I literally was just like, and it was Kayla that actually caught me like watching the first episode, because we watched like 3 or 4 episodes, and the first one she was like, your face, and I was just like literally looking at the TV. I was just like just kind of like, how the fuck do you get to that point, like to where you're literally incapable of doing anything, including like washing yourself. And the one guy's like, I just get underneath all my folds because, you know, those are the spots that can get infected if I don't really even clean like my behind or nothing like that. And I'm just thinking like, you're fucking absolutely disgusting. For one, you look gross. You can't even sit upright in the bed without fucking putting on oxygen. Like, I don't know, man. I had my fill of that show, and I just got to thinking like, why do they capitalize on these people? Like, yeah, let's put you on TV for everybody to see how gross it is to like have that kind of a lifestyle. And then the one chick that we were watching, I remember she had to go outside to be bathed. Like she was a fucking animal. Like the guy that was taking care of her was like some ICP freak, and everything he had on was Hatchet Man. And I was like, well, fucking no kidding. Look at these two. Match made in heaven. Like he was like, I saw her and it was love at first sight. Like a total mouth breather too. Like this guy was in the waiting room with her, and the doctor comes in, Dr. No, and he's like explaining to her, he's like, you have not reached your 33-pound monthly limit to have weight loss surgery. And the guy's just sitting there just fucking open mouth breathing, like jaw on the floor. And I was just like, look at this fucking creature right here, dude. Like he is so disgusting. They're both gross. And it's just like, I don't even know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just a nasty little thing. Like, and she's like, I hate to put my family in a predicament like this. Well, your family wouldn't be in the predicament like this if you just fucking took care of yourself. You know, she's like, oh, I have to eat what my family eats, and they all eat fast food. And this, it's like, okay, you're just making excuses. You're putting all of these problems that you have now health wise on your family, and they have nothing to do with it. If you don't want to be disgusting, get up and make lifestyle changes. Go out and do something else that will, help you to become healthier. And it's not like, oh, they forced me to eat a 75-piece chicken nugget, 6 cheeseburgers, 3 Diet Cokes. I mean, at least it's Diet Coke. But then I had me about 4 large French fries for lunch today. And it's like, no shit, you fucking 795 pounds, dude. Like, come on. Look at the bullshit that you eat. So I don't know. I get irritated with those shows, as you can tell. But it's just, I don't know. It's not really even entertaining to watch that shit. It's just more like disgusting, and you just like fucking do something. You know what I mean? Like do something with yourself. Make a fucking lifestyle change, please. For the fucking love of everybody. I don't know. It's just weird. And then now they have that Jay and Pamela show. We're little people. We're little tiny people. We love each other and this and that. And then it comes out, it's like, oh, but wait a minute. There's a little bit more that you have to know. One of them is trans, and then they get their own show, and now you follow the lives of these 2 people that are in wheelchairs, and I don't know. It's just fucking TLC. You guys got some fucking cleaning up to do there, dude. Make some normal shows. You know what I mean? Like the Balin Out Loud thing that I talked about before. That's like semi-normal because all she has is Tourette syndrome. Okay, that's doable. She goes to the fucking gym in the show. She has healthy lifestyle, shit going on. So does her boyfriend and her family and all that stuff. So all of it's not really like too like over the top, but those other shows they're I don't know. TLC is fucked. How about that? Moving on from that though, because I don't want to be on some TLC ranting. Let me see. Oh, okay. So another thing that we were watching too has been Druski's Could Have Been Love show. We watched the Could Have Been House. If you're familiar with Druski, he's, like I said the last time, he's an online personality, comedian dude. And so we wrapped up the Could Have Been Love. And I'm just fingers crossed right now that this guy, oh my God, I'm dying right now. It's been a long day. I'm dying right now. If this dude gets actually to be part of this this lawsuit that's going on right now. I don't know if anybody's heard about it or whatever. But Odell Beckham Jr. and Druski are also have also been named as parties in a newest lawsuit against Diddy. So they're both potentially on this whole Diddy spectrum of doing freaky shit. Um, it says it was filed March 9th by a lady named Ashley Parham. She filed the lawsuit naming the two and a female singer, Jaguar Wright. She alleges that they drugged, kidnapped, and raped her at a Diddy party. And then while they were in a hotel room, Diddy supposedly assaulted her using a TV remote. And then Druski apparently like poured like a bunch of baby oil on her and then had her lay down on the bed and then ran like full speed and like slid across her like a fucking slip and slide, like a human slip and slide. Um, so yeah, and then apparently like after that, OBJ was like the last one to like, you know, assault her, SA this person. So I don't know, man. Like if that's some like really true shit, like I'm just gonna be disappointed, man. The guy's like super funny, and yeah, he's just a personality that's like hilarious to watch. Um, but this type of shit has been coming out, for the longest time now, and I don't, some of it is a money grab, and then you have some of them that are like legit, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But the thing is too, he does say some like funny shit like on his shows and like online and stuff like that. But you don't know if he's being like Druski the character or if it's like, you know, maybe real. So I don't know. It could go both ways. Um, but yeah, that would be kind of a letdown to see if that happened at any point in the dude's career. So I don't know. That's going to be a little weird one. And a lot of people have been talking about this one too. Ice Cube signed a deal apparently to start making the last installment of the Friday movies called Last Friday. And Mike Epps was talking about it on a radio show or a podcast or whatever. And one thing he mentioned was he's like, oh my God, I can't stop yawning. Fucking dead. He was like, yeah, we're going to have the up and comers in it, the DC Young Flies. And right when he said that, I was kind of just like, this is probably going to suck. And for the last installment of, the Friday franchise to be like over the top, like trying to be hilarious kind of thing. I really hope that's not the road that they go down because I don't want to see any annoying, like comedian type, like people in the movie, like playing characters that are just like too in your face. Oh, look at me, I'm funny, I'm trying to be funny, ha ha ha. And then it completely misses the mark on, the audience reaction, stuff like that. Cause what a horrible way to have like three hilariously and iconic movies such as the Friday movies were or are or whatever. And then you have the last one is going to be like all these young guys and they're, guys or girls or whatever. And it's just going to be like, oh yeah, just do funny shit on camera. And then, it's not like a genuine thing. Like how you had Cat Williams playing Money Mike and just bringing that, like that character in. It's not like a forced, like, oh, you got to be funny. Like you're not there yet kind of thing. That shit was funny from the first time he put his foot down in the car to like the end of the movie where he's got freaking, Damon's nuts with the fucking vice grips, that on your balls, grab a handful, that kind of shit was like, that shit was funny as fuck. Like the whole time he was just making these like off the top one liners, like fucking hilarious through the whole movie. So I'm hoping that this last one isn't like a in your face kind of comedy and you're just like, okay, they really sold themselves short this time and this is how it ends. Fucking whack. So I don't know. Hopefully they cast the right people and put the right people in the right positions and make another banger for the last Friday. That's what it's going to be, the last Friday. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's only so much you can do with those movies. because you have a couple of the people that aren't around anymore. You don't have Debo, you don't have the dad, Mr. Jones. So yeah, we'll see. Um, let's see what else. What else? One of my favorite bands ever uh, released an album. I guess it's an album. Yeah, it's called Nevertake. The band is called Anne Berlin. When I was at the When We Were Young festival, that was one of the bands that we watched from start to finish. And I've always been a big fan of Anne Berlin. But having this release come out, they re-recorded a bunch of their bangers with Maddie Mullins from Memphis Mayfire, and I like them. I like them all a lot, but it's kind of weird having Maddie singing because it feels like the lyrics are too like too spoken. I don't know really how to I don't know how to describe it. You have to listen to it, but like if you listen to the original tracks with Christian on there, these ones kind of sound like really there's like wow, he's really loud. Like there's a lot of effort being put into the lyrics, and they're not really as like swung or like saying how Christian did initially with the first releases the first time around. But nevertheless, they rearranged some stuff, and the vocals are killer anyways. So I think that's just something that I kind of just picked up on. And but yeah, if you're an Amberlin fan, Nevertake is out, so go listen to it if you want. Or if you haven't ever heard of them, go listen to it and enjoy it, because I certainly have. Um, let me see what else we got. Oh yeah, Conor McGregor recently came to the White House, and he was at the podium where Carolyn Levitt usually does her White House briefings and stuff like that, and he's really really into running for president of Ireland, and I don't know if the people are really going to be into that in Ireland or not. Like, I don't really follow the Irish a lot. I know that fat ass Rosie O'Donnell just made her landfall there and fucking almost tipped it over. That's about the only thing I know, recently, news coming out of Ireland besides St. Patrick's Day. They still haven't found the leprechaun apparently. So, yeah, he's going to be running for president, I have a feeling, over there. And I don't know if he's going to be able to win or not. Like, I know he's got a lot of like buku bucks, but I think him going for the presidency over there might be a little bit out of his reach. I could be completely wrong. The people could probably just fucking go ape shit, but who knows like what the political climate is over there. I know there's a lot of fucking people that are pissed off because of their immigration laws and stuff like that. They're pretty much tried to mirror the US and just let everybody in, and now it's ravaging the whole country just like it was here. And he is into the EU, the EU Migration Pact, and that basically distributes funding for immigrants across all nations or states involved in the pact. So if there's a particular that doesn't want to be in it, they're going to be forced to be paying for shit. And he says that he's against that, and wants the Irish people to have their voices heard, and they want to vote on everything as opposed to just forcing stuff in, kind of like here. So maybe he becomes the president of Ireland. That would be wild as fuck, because he's very outspoken, and I don't know, maybe you need a hardcore president like we have here now in Ireland, because we all know what happened over in the UK. They let everybody in, and now fucking people are just getting beat up, kicked around, and it's been a whole political change over in the UK, and the country's gone to shit. I wouldn't want to visit it, and I don't think I'll ever visit Ireland too. I have no intention on going there. So yeah, but good luck to Conor McGregor on becoming the president. He says the elections have to take place November 11th this year. And I don't know if there's like a way that they're going to try to like not have an election, kind of like Canada did. So yeah, we'll see. Conor McGregor may be a president someday, and you just see him kicking it at the White House with Donald Trump. Um, but speaking of which, Donald Trump, man, there's just been too much shit, and not in a bad way. There's just been a lot. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of winning going on, and it's happening now at a crazy pace. Like it's been like I've been trying to, like I said at the beginning, like just trying to keep up with stuff to make like talking points out of, and it's been mad, like crazy shit going on. Mainly, he's within the first like 3 months now, he's pretty much sealed up the border. He's deporting a shitload of people all the time. He has like 530,000 people on the list to get the boot later on. He recently just dissolved the Department of Education, which is good, and he put it back in the states' hands. And the states and the teachers within those respective states are going to be responsible for the curriculum and the teaching of the future generations. And I think that's a good move, as do a lot of people, because it holds the teachers accountable. Especially if you have kids that are in school and they have these like fucked up, situations going on in the school where, we have the worst, test scores and reading comprehension and, all that stuff. And that's been all on account of the Department of Education. So I think the solution for that one step further is, pay these teachers on a merit-based salary. If you, oh man, excuse me. If you're in the business of teaching, and you say that you love teaching so much and this and that, show your worth. You know what I mean? Get these kids scores up, get the comprehension and, math and science and whatever else you want to call it. Get it up, dude. Like get these scores up, man. We got kids that don't even read at a fucking third grade level and they're like 14 years old, So I think if you make teaching a merit-based kind of field, you'll have a lot more teachers that are willing to like go the extra step, as opposed to just like, here's your packet, and then see me on Friday at the end of the week, and I'll give you a grade. Make them want to teach these kids, as opposed to just like being a lazy asshole and pushing them off to the side. Just be like, oh, if they graduate, they graduate. That sucks. It's not getting anybody anywhere in life, especially kids that want to learn, but, have, difficulty with, getting there because either the teachers suck or they just don't know how to teach the kids, how to, take on these different subjects, So I think once you start getting better teachers in these schools and stuff like that, you'll probably see a turnaround. So having the Department of Education scrapped and putting the teachers in the states in control, I think you'll probably see a little bit of a turnaround. It's not going to be like, immediate, because, shit takes a while, but that was one of the things. Also, another point that they've done, they've had small succession on so far, not complete yet, is the whole peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. That's been on the table. NATO is another kind of touchy thing with Ukraine. They don't want to put Ukraine in NATO because then they're just going to get a bunch of funding, and then we know what that happens. They just get a bunch of money, they start fucking it off again, and then Zelensky opens his mouth and then gets everybody killed again. So that's not going to be a good move. He also took away. This was a good one. He took away Hunter and Ashley Biden's Secret Service detail, and yeah, he got rid of those guys. There's no need to have them on the payroll anymore. So adios to their Secret Service detail. And then Hunter Biden went on a fucking bender in South Africa. So, no need to have Secret Service out there with them anymore. They're done and done. And that was another plus. And then they're looking into, and I don't know if anything is going to happen with this next one, basically reversing all the pardons that Biden sent out the last like few hours that he was president, And then even some of those that were done before he left the White House because of the use of auto pen. So it didn't have his handwritten signature on any of them. It was a like basically how you can go into like a PC thing and you can auto sign things like with just a click of a button. That's basically what it was. And you just, there's this auto pen feature on all these pardons, and they're saying like, okay, so if it's not a handwritten signature, how does he prove that he knows that he pardoned these people, or is it somebody else that's doing it? And that's what the case might come out to be, is just like somebody else had all these people, the fucking Liz Cheneys, the Anthony Fauci's, and all this shit, and they're just click 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 and giving these people pardons, and Joe Biden didn't even fucking know about it. So hopefully if that happens, dude, oh my god, that'd be a cold day in hell for those people. Just bring it to life and their fucking pardons get erased. Holy shit. But like I said, slim to none on that one. And then, just going on a freaking terrorist killing spree. They're fucking up the Houthis again, and telling them like, hey, we're not going to stop until you guys are pretty much, wiped out, which is a good thing, because they're Iranian backed, and Iran's not going to admit anything, but they're giving them arms and missiles and all types of shit, military equipment to try to fuck with our boys, and it's just not going to happen anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you had Biden let it slide for the longest time, and now they're getting the reaction that should have happened a long time ago, and it is what it is. People are getting fucking blown up over there, and it ain't going to be none of our people. It's going to be the Houthis this time, and sorry, not sorry. People are like, oh, but what about the people? Well, tell them to fucking not hide behind, civilians and shit, and, they won't get blown up. But, just taking out top terrorist leaders. They're booting out students that are here on visas when they act up and they do their whole activist thing and, put riots across the universities and stuff. They're kicking all those people out and sending them back home, which should have been, a thing the past few years. But, Biden's administration applauded that kind of behavior. And now universities are buckling on every front, basically, whether it's the trans and women's sports or, the student activists and their visas being revoked. They're just getting with the program, falling in line, and it's a beautiful thing to see because, you have these asshole people that are taking over these universities to spew their bullshit. And, there's people that pay a lot of money to go to school there. And if they can't get to class, what good is them, paying all that money for an education? I, for one, would never pay that much money to go to school. I, for one, am against school. Not entirely, but for me personally, it's not something that I would do. I don't ever see myself doing, the whole university thing. But, yeah, the people that are paying 30, 40, 50 plus $1,000 a year, semester, whatever it might be, are getting fucked over by these people that are, in the way. And yeah, so they're getting put on planes and sent back home now. And those days of disrupting the learning environments of tens of thousands of people are over with. Let's see what else, man. Like I said, it's just been a lot to catch up on. So I'm just highlighting points. Also, the stranded astronauts that were in the International Space Station, they're back home. It was supposed to be an 8-day adventure, turned into 9 months or something like that, that they got stranded up there. And Biden was completely useless in the effort to bring them back home. So now they're home. Elon took, his people, got it together, sent up the mission to the space station and brought them back home. Splashdown, they're here. And, all is well on the front of space now. And then just, what was it, last week, he released the JFK files. And I'm kind of I was kind of pissed off in the beginning because I was thinking maybe it's going to have a definitive ending, piece. There'll be something written in there, along with these files that point out hey, this was this, and, this is our conclusion of it, but it wasn't. And so you have to read through it. I read through some of the appendix, like I think 18 it was, and then I watched a few videos. One was like crime and law or law and crime on it on YouTube to kind of see if anybody else has been able to break it down. And a lot of the points with the JFK files are still kind of like in the shadows, kind of, unless you're picking apart these documents. And so far, nobody really has. There's been a few people that I've seen that have done like a few hundred pages of it, but nothing definitive. I mean, it's all the same shit. Like it's the commission from, you know, the 60s that has the say in the report. So it's like, you know, nobody from the FBI was involved, nobody from the CIA involved. But then you have like this play-by-play timeline and all these interviews and stuff like that, like Underhill and a few other people. There was even an instance where there was a guy, and like I said, you'd have to go look up these videos because I was not about to jot down notes. I probably should have, but you know, it's one of those things. If you're really into it, you'll go look for it. I'm just kind of giving you the Cliff Notes kind of thing. There was a guy that had discussed with the FBI that, you know, Oswald was going to purchase a rifle and this and that. And he'd been to Mexico City and he met with people from the KGB and all this other shit. And he gave, you know, them information like, hey, Lee Harvey Oswald is going to kill the president. This dude's like hell bent on this shit. He's been in the Marines. And they told him like, oh, he's not even that good of a shot and blah, 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 blah. And then he also coughed up the name of the guy that killed Martin Luther King and told them that he was also going to kill Martin Luther King. So, I mean, he fed them two names and they kind of just dismissed it and, you know, didn't want anything to do with it. But the whole thing is just a plot against the president. You know what I mean? He was kind of like a Donald Trump-esque figure. He was a Democrat that just wasn't about to fall in line. And that's why a lot of people say he was the last good Democrat, this and that. In regards to JFK, but yeah, it's a lot of paperwork to like kind of delve into, and if you're really inclined to like kind of get behind the conspiracy theory side of it, you might want to check it out because some people, like I said, have gone through a few hundred pages, but it's going to be probably like months to like years before we have like the juicy like details of everything. Because it's all got to get hashed out. People have got to get, you know, shit straight. There's a lot of documents, like 80,000 pages or something like that. So, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing, but I kind of tried to stick with it for a few days, and I was just kind of like, this is exhausting, man. Like I don't have the fucking wherewithal to get with all this stuff and skim through it and just remember and retain all that stuff. Which is another reason why I don't go to school because I just don't retain a lot of shit, you know. Honestly, but yeah, so if you're interested in checking out any of the JFK stuff, there's stuff all over YouTube, I'm sure, that has been updated by now to include the newly released files, but everything is available. You can also go online and look it up, and you can try to read through everything yourself if you wanted to. There's a .gov page, and you can get directly to the files, so it's not like you have to have like some crazy, you know, clearance or freaking access to get to the files. You can look them up on your computer or your phone. And speaking of Dems and stuff like that, the left now hates EVs. They hate Teslas. What do you know? You know, the brand and stuff that they said was going to save the earth and, you know, electric vehicles are the future and this and that. Now you're seeing them painting swastikas on Teslas and all kinds of shit, man. These people are fucking insane. And yeah, they're calling Elon Musk a Nazi and all this other shit. You know, you're getting, you know, the reversal role here once again of the Dems and the left and the lunatic left is what they call them. Yeah, I don't know. These people are never satisfied with shit. And yeah, it's just wild to see like viewpoints of people that buy into all this shit. And for one, there was a guy that I'd known previously on one of my friends' pages, a social media page, and he's completely lost in the sauce, just going off and on these rants. And I was gonna chime in, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna stay out of this one because I don't feel like getting those notifications like, oh, so and so replied, so and so. I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna let this dude just do this mental fucking breakdown in front of everybody on social media, and uh, just watch from a distance at this point. It's because it's more entertaining that way, and I just don't want to. I don't want to get the back and forth with some lunatic. Um, but yeah, man. Next week I will be traveling to Florida again. I did the beginning episodes of this podcast. I did a lot of them actually while I was in Florida last year. So hopefully this one's not going to be as long of a trip. It should only be probably like maybe like a week and a half, hopefully. Um, but yeah, going back to Florida this time, it's hopefully not going to have shitty ass weather. Last time it was so fucking cold in Florida. Um, it was unbearable, honestly, unbearable to be there. It was freezing cold every day. And it's like spring break time now over there. So hopefully there'll be some fun stuff to do. I might I might run a couple episodes while I'm there. Who knows? Just depends. Or I might just save everything for one giant extravaganza episode when I get home. So either way, it'll be cool. But yeah, man. Like I said, it's kind of weird now to do the podcast with just myself, and nobody else here. And I'm not gonna beg any of you motherfuckers to come on here, anyways. I've had the open invitation for God knows how long. I know two of my buddies are just kind of like, "Hey, when are we gonna get with it?" And we just got to make time to get with it. But everybody else that's local that could be on here, I'm beginning to think everybody's just afraid of it. So with that being said, shout out to the followers, the people listening, watching on YouTube. You can get the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, wherever else, Pocket Casts, Amazon, anywhere that you can look up podcasts. So thanks for those that are watching and giving feedback, everything like that. Hit me up on Instagram, digital_demons_podcast. If you have anything you want to talk about, or some opinions on some stuff, shoot me an email at digitaldemonspodcast@gmail.com. And we're just gonna keep it rolling. I don't know if we're gonna do it weekly now. I just kind of just get in the mood. I really have to be in the mood these days. So yeah, holler at your boy. If you got anything going on, let me know, and we'll try to get it onto the show and give it a little whirl, some discussion, some talking points. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. All right, peace.